Okay, it's not working. So, hey guys, this is the introduction to my video. Um, and it is about the appendicular skeleton, and it is made by me, aka the sis Lolly Vicuna. Okay, so for the appendicular skeleton, first we have the scapula. And in the scapula, it looks really complicated, but it's broken down really easily. So, at the top, there's the acromion, which is this area, and I will be highlighting with this grayish color. So the acromion would be this right here. And, yeah, after the acromion, there's the coracoid process. And once we move below the coracoid process is the glenoid cavity right here. Maybe I shouldn't be highlighting with this color. Let's try something else. A darker color. Then there's the scapular notch, which is right here. After the scapular notch, there's the superior border. Now, for me, the easiest part of remembering for the scapula was the borders, because superior border, because, like, obviously, you know, it's superior. Then, medial border, because it's, medial to the lateral border. Once we're done with the borders, there is the subscapular fossa. And then after the subscapular fossa, there is the infraglenoid tubercle. So if you remember that the glenoid cavity is right here, you should remember that the infra below the glenoid tubercle is right here. Now on the other side, here we see the acromion once again. And we also, besides borders, we get into angles. There's a superior angle right here, a lateral angle, and a inferior angle. Apart from these angles, there is the supraspinous fossa and the infraspinous fossa. And once again, these are easier to remember if you could just remember that there is a scapular spine, supra above, infra below. After that, there's the clavicle, which is the easiest part. And you could kind of remember it by coracoid is the scapula, and then coronoid is the clavicle. The clavicle has the sternal end right here and here, and then it has the acromial end right here and here. And the way I kind of remember this was acromion, and I thought of a crouton and how croutons sometimes are like really shaped. So that's what I thought of, but you know, that's just me. Everybody has their own way. And then there's a conoid tubercle right here and here. Moving on, we move on to the humerus. Yeah. There's the head here and here. And then kind of next to the head is the greater tubercle. And there's also a lesser tubercle. Now it's easy, greater is above, lesser is below. Greater and lesser tubercle. There is an anatomical neck, and there is also a surgical neck. Then we move on into the intertubercular sulcus. So if you can remember that there is a greater tubercle and a lesser tubercle, the intertubercular sulcus shouldn't be that difficult to remember. I almost dropped my Apple pencil. Okay, moving on. Whoops. There is a little nutrient foramen. And then there's the deltoid tuberosity. So this is a little bit more, more. I don't know how to describe it. At the bottom, medially, we find the medial condyles. Medial epicondyles. And then, just like there's a medial epicondyle, there's a lateral epicondyle. So that was the way I thought of it. And then condyle, there is a medial supracondylar ridge right here. That I always thought was pretty easy because epicondyle, supracondylar. Moving on, we have the olecranon fossa right here, and below it we have the trachea. And by the way, get ready for a bunch of mispronunciation. Also, we have the radial fossa here, which is where the radius, and the coronoid fossa here. And I believe that is it. Oh wait, there's also the capitulum. Now that's it. For the radius and the ulna, there's first the olecranon right here. And this inserts into the, where is it? Olecranon fossa right here. You know, maybe I should just like pick a color. No, a highlighter. That's darker. There we go. Maybe make it a little thinner. There we go. There is also a trochlear notch for the radius and the ulna right here. And, yeah. There's, both a tuberosity of the radius right here, and then a tuberosity of the ulna and a tuberosity of the radius right there. So there's two, but if you know your ulna and radius and that there's a tuberosity, that shouldn't be that difficult. And of course there's the head of the radius here and here, and the neck of the radius. And those are quite simple, as like there's a head and there's a neck on a normal body, why not on a bone? Then towards the actual shaft of the bone, this is the shaft, is the interosseous border. My pronunciation is horrible, but I remember how to spell it, so it's kind of worth it. Here we have the ulnar notch of the radius right here, and the styloid process. There's both styloid process of the radius and styloid process of the ulna. So we always gotta be aware of those. Yep. And then of course there's the articular faucets right here. Next is the hand. And for the hand there is I forgot, mnemonic, I think, or something like that. It is some lovers try positions. Oh. And now my Pinterest popped up, so if you guys, I'm on Pinterest. Some lovers try positions that they cannot handle. And this basically stands for scaphoid, lumate, triquetrium, trapezium, trapezoid, right? No. Oh my god, I already messed it up. Scaphoid, lunate, triquetrium, physiform, trapezoid. Oh my god. Yeah, I did not remember this. So, some goes with scaphoid, lovers goes with lunate, tri goes with triquetrium, that's how I remember that. Positions goes with physiform, that goes with physiform and trapezium, that's what I got confused. They goes with trapezoid, and cannot goes with capitate, and handle goes with hamate. So there's that. I'm sorry, my sister is distracting me because my dog is next to me and she is taking a video of my dog, so please stop it, Evelyn. Anyway. Those are the bones for the hand. Well, they're better known as carpals. Yay. Next we have hip bones. hip bones, there is the iliac crest. Then there is the anterior and posterior iliac spine. But if you just remember which side is posterior and which side is anterior, you can easily get the hang of which one's superior and which one's inferior. So, here we have here's the posterior superior iliac spine right here. And then we have the posterior inferior iliac spine right here. And then there's the anterior superior iliac spine here. And the anterior inferior iliac spine here. Then, after that, there is the greater sciatic notch. And my favorite, the acetabulum. After the acetabulum, the other hole is the what am I saying? No, this is the superior ramus of the pubis. But the other one I was talking to was the obturator foramen, which is right here. Kind of pointless shading it in when it's already shaded in. So, it's this one. After that, we have the body of the pubis right here. And the inferior ramus of the pubis. And I kind of just remember this because it's pubis ischium. If that makes any sense. PPP. And then I. Oh my god. If I would have done that backwards, it would have been like IPPP and I would have remembered it probably a whole lot better. But yes, we have that. Next is the ischial tuberosity right here. And there's the spine of the ischium. For the hip bone, that is it. And we move on to the femur. So for the femur, we have this fovea capitalis right there. And then once again, we have greater and lesser. This is the greater trochanter here. And then we have also a lesser trochanter here. And then just like there is a head, there is also a neck here. After the neck is the linea aspera. And we were told to remember that because it's like a literal line. And aspera kind of just reminds me of how it feels in a way. Once again, there's lateral and medial. So we go to the lateral epicondyles here. And also to the lateral condyle. Then there's also the medial epicondyle here and here. And there's also a medial condyle here and here. And with the condyles, once again, we go into the intercondylar fossa, located right there, which if you know where your condyles are, would be easy to remember. And last but not least, we have the patellar surface, where the patella goes. Let's move on to the patella. This is the hardest part. Just kidding. Oh my god, I'm tired. Okay, here we have the base of the patella and the apex of the patella. And the way I kind of think of this was, if it was like that apex, I kind of think of like a peak. I don't know if my thinking process makes any sense, but it helps me out sometimes. After the apex of the patella are the articular facets. And articular because they articulate, there. And then facets because they kind of just remind me of that. Anyway, those are the articular facets. Next, we have the tibia and the fibula. Now, for the tibia and the fibula, here there is an intercondylar eminence. And we also have the medial condyles and lateral condyles. Once again, medial condyle, lateral condyle. And that's what makes it so easy to remember the intercondylar eminence that is located right there. So, we also have the ischiotibulosity right here. And we have the apex right here, the apex of the fibula, which once again, if we see the little head of the fibula is kind of like, I suck at drawing, but it's something like that once again with the apex. And then there's also the head of the fibula itself right there. If we go down, there is the malleus, which I think of them as condyles, even though they're not condyles, but I think of them in the form that there's a medial and a lateral. So there's medial malleus and then lateral malleus. And just like that, we are moving on to the last section, which is the foot, my least favorite part of the body. Yes. Once again, we have bones. So, in our beautiful yellow, there's the calcaneus right here. Here I am. And, yeah, that's the calcaneus. Next, we have the talus, the navicular. Navicular is funny how I remember it because we go over it in our tables and my friend Navi was having the hardest time remembering navicular and it has her nickname on it, so that irony just helped me remember it. So sometimes you just need to find irony in learning. There's also the cuboid, and the next ones are really easy because they're all cuneiform. Oh, I spelled that so wrong. They're all cuneiform. And just like that, there's a lateral, there's a medial, and there's an intermediate. An intermediate, I just think of middle. But of course, that's not the right term for it, but it helps me remember, and whenever I think of medial cuneiform, it's like, what else is medial? And then I just somehow think of intermediate. So here we have the lateral cuneiform, the intermediate cuneiform, and the medial cuneiform. So, after all this, I will say, congrats. You are done watching XOXO Gossip Girl. Oh, JK. I'm so tired. This is me being sleep deprived. Anyway, goodbye. How do I stop screen recording?